Okay, so when we graph equations, we always have to have y by itself. So we're going to go back and look at how to solve for y, and we did this in chapter 2. So you want to box y and draw your line. So I need to move 8 to the other side. Well, when 8 moves to the other side, it becomes a negative 8. Now, before you always wrote it kind of down underneath. I'm just saying write it to the other side like that. So the 8 moves. You got y equals, and we're used to putting x in the front, so let's keep 3x in the front. 3x minus 8. Now your slope is the one that always has the variable. So the slope is the one in front of the variable. That's 3. And my y-intercept is what is behind it. That is a negative 8. So on number 2, I need to solve for y. So I'm going to move the negative 4x over when it becomes a positive 4x. Okay? So y equals, now a lot of you like to get in the habit of putting the x first. So this is a positive 4x, so 4x, and this is a positive 5, so plus 5. The number in front of the x is always your slope, so 4, and then the y-intercept is 5. Number 3, draw your line, box your y, negative 5x becomes a positive 5x. So y equals, I want to get the, I'm going to put the x's first, so that's a positive 5x, and then you have minus 8. So since it's a minus 8, I'm going to write negative 8. The slope is in front of the x, so that is 5, and the y-intercept is negative 8, okay? Number 4, draw your line, box your y, move the 6 over, it's negative 6. So y equals, there's my 2x minus 6. What is in front of the x is 2, so my slope is 2. My y-intercept is a negative 6, so it says minus 6. Number 5, draw your line, box your y, move over the negative 5x, it becomes a positive 5x. So y equals, I want the 5x to be in front, so 5x plus 8, and so the slope is 5, and the y-intercept is 8. Number 6, box your y, 3x becomes a negative 3x, so y equals negative 3x plus 9. So I have my x's first. What's in front of the x is a negative 3, and then that's a positive 9. Now we're going to take it one step further, and let's say that we have a number in front of the y. So we're going to do the exact same thing, but then I'm going to have to divide. Okay, so you're going to move it over and then you're going to divide. So draw a line. I want y by itself. So 4x becomes a negative 4x. So we're going to do everything that we did a while ago. 8y equals negative 4x, and this is a positive 16. So that's plus 16, okay? The opposite of multiplying by 8 is dividing by 8. So I have to divide everything by 8. So y equals, now look, you put it in the calculator just like that. Negative 4 divided by 8. So cancel, sorry about that. I'm just going to go to this calculator switch. Escape, if that happens, I'm just going to go to this calculator. So negative 4 divided by 8, that is negative 1/2. So you have negative 1/2 is my slope. Okay, negative 1/2 x, because it's what's in front of the x. And then you're going to also put in 16 divided by 8. So 16 divided by 8. And then enter, and you get 2. So that's plus 2. So that's a positive 2. Okay, and so that's the only extra step that you're taking. Draw your line, move the 3x over, so it becomes a negative 3x. 2y equals, I want my x first, so since it's a negative 3x, and then this is a negative 6, I put minus 6. The opposite of multiplying by 2 is to divide by 2, so I have to divide each thing by 2. So y equals, make sure you type it in just like that. So that is negative 3 divided by 2, and that's negative 3 over 2. And that is my x, so that is my slope, negative 3 over 2. And then the other thing I'm going to type in is negative 6 divided by 2. And so you have negative 6 divided by 2, and that is negative 3. So my y-intercept is negative 3. That would be minus 3. Okay? Number 10. So it's just doing the same thing over and over. Minus 12x. So you've got negative 2y equals negative 12x plus 6. And that's where some of you made mistakes before, is the rewriting when I switch it. You always look at the sign that's in front, okay? You divide by whatever is in front of the y. If it is a positive, you divide by positive. If it's a negative, divide by negative. So I have negative 12 divided by negative 2, okay? Negative 12 divided by negative 2. And that is positive 6. So you've got y equals 6x. 6 divided by negative 2 is a negative 3. So my slope is 6, my y-intercept is negative 3. So minus 9x, so negative 3y equals negative 9x plus 3. Okay, and then you have to divide by negative 3. So divide everything by a negative 3. When you do that, you get positive 3x minus 1. 3 divided by negative 3 is a negative 1. So slope is 3, y-intercept is negative 1. Okay. Same thing. Move the x over, minus 3x. So negative 4y equals negative 3x plus 16. And then I have to divide everything by negative 4. Okay, so y equals, now on this one, I'm going to type that in so you can see, again, it's just always doing the same thing, negative 3 divided by negative 4. That's a positive 3/4. If it comes out as a fraction, leave it as a fraction, positive 3/4 x, and then do 16 divided by negative 4. So 16 divided by negative 4, and that equals minus 4. Negative 4. So the slope is 3/4, the y-intercept is negative 4. Okay? So it's the same thing over and over. You just repeat the steps. Move over your x. Okay? And I think it's helpful for you to always put the x in the front, and then you have to divide by whatever is in front of the variable. But you have to divide everything by that number, not just the first one. So that would be negative 6/7 x, and then plus 6. So that's negative 6/7, and that's plus 6. And you know you can graph that. I know this is going to be decreasing, and I know that it's going to go through 6 on the graph. So it makes it really nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to go down 6/7. So it's going to look something like that. It's real easy to graph, or you can graph it on your calculator, either one. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. Okay, I moved the wrong thing. I don't want to move. I want to solve for y, so pay attention to that. I want to move the x over. So minus 3x. If they change the order, it's still the same thing. You always want to solve for y. Negative 3x minus 8 divide by negative 4. Whatever is in front of the y, that's what you're going to divide by. The exact same thing. So that's going to be positive 3/4 x plus 2. So 3/4 plus 2. So you know if I had a graph, you go up 2 and you go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? It's a graph, real easy. It's increasing. We're just putting it all together. Move over your x, negative 2x. Now this one, if you don't see anything in front, it's a 1, so that's negative 1y equals 4 minus 2x. And then you have to divide by negative 1. Y equals negative 4 plus 2x. Now I didn't switch that around like I normally do. And if you don't do that, it's fine, but just remember the slope is always in front of the x. It's not always the first number, it's what's in front of x. And this one is in front of x. So the slope is 2 and the y-intercept is negative 4. So that's what a lot of you are used to, having the x first. If you want to put the x first, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just remember slope is always the one that's by the x. Okay? And that is rearranging into slope-intercept form.